hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Rozgonyi, and welcome to an episode of Open Mic from NSA Carolinas. And today I have with me Stan Phelps. Stan is our incoming president. And if you don't know Stan, he's the guy that you have to know. He's very entertaining on social media. He's a really impressive speaker in real life. I got to hear him speak to AMA Charlotte. I learned so much. His slides are fantastic. And he's not in North or South Carolina. He is actually in Arizona because he's on a tour, a big tour. And I'm just really excited to welcome Stan as our first guest for Open Mic, and also welcome you as the new president for NSA Carolinas.
Yeah,
So,
thank you, Barbara. And you just came onto the board as our new VP of marketing. So I know you bring a lot of experience and enthusiasm, having served in the past at NSA Chicago. So tremendous, glad to be here.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And National Speakers Association is a great organization. And if you're just watching this, maybe you found Stan or me somewhere along the way. What we do is we really help speakers promote their business. And so, Stan, why don't you give us a little bit of an update on what kind of status the chapter was in when you took over, and just give us some background.
Yeah, so this is a really exciting time. I'm taking over from Nanci Appleman-Vassil, who, Barbara, did an amazing job last year. We can call her the COVID president, but we actually grew our chapter by over 40% during COVID, which is amazing.
It's very impressive.
So
Yeah.
we now have over 80 members, which makes us one of the larger chapters in the country. And I know we'll talk about just the presence we had at Influence, but no, I'm excited because we've got a great amount of momentum, a lot of kind of board members in critical roles that have decided to come back. And I'm just excited about an upcoming great year, getting back to in-person events. Certainly the banquet that we had back in June was a great kind of primer for what's coming forward.
Yeah, that was a wonderful night. Everyone was just buzzing with excitement and good energy because, first of all, it was great to be at a real live event and get dressed up and go out. Oh my gosh, we can actually wear nice clothes again. And so that was fun. The programming was just phenomenal, off the charts, one great speaker after another, and fabulous meals. And I think that was just really a wonderful way to not only close off Nanci's leadership, but also start yours. So let's talk a little bit about your theme for the new year. And if you want to kind of give us a little bit of a lead in, we actually did start out on a boat at the board retreat.
We did. So as a board, we got together in Wilmington for 2 days. Dr. Kevin Snyder, who heads up programming, also has a boat down in Wilmington. So we did a little cruise and kind of a social thing the first night, which was a lot of fun, and dinner. And then we got to business the next day. We really spent some time to really plan out the year and really think about what we wanted to be able to offer the members. And so that was a great day. You know, the overarching theme, I kind of went with a nautical theme, knowing that we were gonna kick off in Wilmington, but it's called New Rope. And if you've ever felt new rope before, it's strong. You know, and the opposite of new rope is what I would call wet twine, which is, you know, weak. And so my goal is for everything that we do to really make sure that it's crisp and strong and new rope. So yeah, that was the overarching, just fun theme as we kicked off the year.
Yeah, and I like the rope theme too, because it ties things together. And it's like, you know, if you're a climber, I remember one year for Christmas, my husband really wanted new rope for climbing. And I just thought, whatever, it's not easy to wrap a big pile of rope. Let me just tell you that. But, you know, it's really important for climbers to have that new rope to really grab onto and go up. So I just think that's a great metaphor for what we want to do this year. And one of the foundations for that is programming. And you mentioned Dr. Kevin Snyder, and at our off-site retreat, when I walked in, you had all these giant Post-it notes with the entire calendar for the next year. And before we left, we had it filled up with some really exciting events for people to look forward to.
Yeah, that was a huge goal. I just think from my perspective, is that programming is the lifeblood of the chapter. You know, we're all
Yes.
not only speakers, but we're business people. And we need to continuously be educated how we can not only develop the craft of speaking, but also the business of speaking. And, you know, when I started with the chapter and I started coming to events in NSA Carolinas just about 9 years ago, you know, we maybe met as a chapter once every other month.
Wow.
And mainly in Charlotte, because that's kind of the hub, you know, the center of the Carolinas. But you know what I believe, Barbara, is that you can't really create a community if you're only meeting every couple months.
Right.
And as you've seen, just because Kevin's been the head of programming now for over 6 months, he is just an idea machine. We're going to be doing 1, 2, sometimes 3 things a month that are going to be vital programming. So it will continue with kind of our mainstay Saturday programs, which we will do every other month to kind of bring people together. Those will be kind of complemented with things like speaker showcases, which is an opportunity for people to kind of maybe try out some new material and get feedback from other members in kind of a safe place. We'll continue with local member dine-arounds, and we've done those virtually, but you know, fingers crossed we'll get back to in-person for those. And that's just an opportunity for, in kind of our 4 different regions of the Carolinas, for people to get together locally and create those member bonds locally. And then I know Kevin's got some workshops that we're going to work on. In fact, one which is coming up in August, on August 14th, is really going to be a download and recap of influence. And so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am too. And what I think is incredible is we counted up how many people from NSA Carolinas were at Influence, and we were right at 20. And then Kevin said, who would like to share their takeaways? And 13 people stepped up. And he might even get more, you know, when people remember to email. But that's just incredible to know that there's that kind of representation that really want to share. And then, of course, on the main stage, we did have 2 members. We had Amy Clymer and then Jeannie Robertson.
Right.
And then we also had other chapter members who contributed on a national level, Lenora Billings Harris and then Meredith Elliott Powell. They just really have done a great job. So yeah, and of course, Barry Banthers from North Carolina. So I just felt like, wow, we really are so represented at this show. It's very exciting. So that's going to be great. And once again, it's August 14th. So watch for information on that. Well, I know one of the things that people are already always interested in, whether they're just starting out or if they're a speaker that's looking to grow their business, is going to some type of academy or some type of in-depth learning opportunity. And I know we had one last year. You and Dr. Kevin Snyder put it on. And then this year, Mike Mooney is going to be in charge of planning this. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I am interviewing Mike as well.
So I think it's critical if we are all about kind of rising, you know, the rising tide lifts all boats.
Right.
We have a responsibility as a chapter that's about professional speaking to help people on their journey. And we're all on a journey.
Right.
And so last year, Dr. Kevin and I, over the course of 6 Saturdays between September and November, did kind of the inaugural Speaker Academy. And it was great. We had over 20 people. It was vibrant. People got a lot of value at it. But more importantly, people got engaged with the chapter and the programming. And so you mentioned Mike Mooney. Mike is our president-elect. So his kind of main responsibility for this upcoming year is to put together the academy. I think Mike's going to put his own spin on it, which is more condensed. So we're going to really build something around our speaker intensive in November. It'll be a little bit more condensed, but I'm looking forward to it. Last year, which was amazing, was Nanci Appleman-Vassil, our president, and Nicole Greer, who's our VP of membership. They actually decided to participate in Academy. So it's not just about new speakers, it's even about other speakers that want to just kind of, you know, find small ways that they continue to sharpen the saw and get better.
Yeah, and what I love when I worked with Speakers Academy back in Illinois is it was nice to have the experienced speakers there because everybody learns from everybody. And you can always learn from the beginners, and sometimes you can be surprised at what they can teach you. So if the intent is to advance your business, you're going to do it.
Right.
So that's really exciting. Well, it takes, with a chapter this size and all these things going on, it does take volunteers to help things keep going and growing. So would you like to talk a little bit about how you can volunteer or maybe recognize some volunteers?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is very much a working board that you and I are part of. Everyone kind of digs in. But we know that the more that we get people engaged and involved, the better the experience for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to recognize Larry Long Jr., who came on last year in programming to help Kevin. He's been great. He's continuing. We now have Sporty King, who's raised his hand to get involved. We also have Charles Weathers and Peter Agiovlassitis, who are kind of at-large board members that will get involved. But we're always looking for people that want to maybe be able to help out at the events, maybe even be part of marketing to help promote all the communications for the chapter, maybe assist with membership with Nicole, who's done an amazing job. So all you need to do is raise your hand, reach out to me, reach out to anyone on the board, and we'll figure out a way to get you involved.
Yeah, that would be great. And I have to tell you, these folks are a lot of fun. So it's worth your time. And just like a lot of things in life, you get as much out of it as you put in. So the more you contribute, the more you'll be able to share with other folks. So any last words, Stan, that you'd like to share with us about what to expect this next year?
No, other than I just mentioned Nicole earlier. Nicole is our VP of membership, and she is awesome. If you're listening to this right now and you're interested in a little bit more about maybe becoming a member or coming as a guest once or twice to get a sense of what the chapter is about, Nicole is that great first person to connect with.
Yeah, and you did mention membership. There are some different membership levels now. So
correct. Yeah. So very interesting. So to be a member of NSA Carolinas, you first have to join at the national level. And that has actually evolved a little bit here in the last year. There is no longer an income requirement to be a member of national. There are some different membership levels, but that's something that Nicole can help walk you through. It's a simple thing. Join at the national, then join at the chapter level. And again, try it before you buy it. You're always welcome to come to chapter events, some chapter events as a guest.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to working with you and the board, Stan, and hopefully meeting a lot more new people and just reconnecting with all the fun people that I know right now. So thanks so much for spending time with us. And anyone who wants to check out NSA Carolinas, you can find links below. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Barbara.